Welcome back to the FC26 Crystal Palace Career Mode. It is transfer window time in the third season. Thank you for your comments and feedback in episode 1 of season 3 yesterday. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. It's made things pretty straightforward for me with regards the way things are going to work in this window for us. So we were looking for you guys to suggest for me a left back and a winger as well. And you have actually been quite unanimous on both fronts. So thank you for that. Very, very straightforward for me. We obviously made the signing of Dominic Szoboszlai in the last episode, who was not playing at Liverpool and or not playing frequently at Liverpool, and is going to start every week for us, being the Premier League champions. I think that's fair enough. And then we were looking to not necessarily start anyone ahead of Slater, but have someone higher rated for simmed games and just as general backup. And then we were looking for another winger as well, because at the minute we only have Amora and Sarr and then youngsters. And that's not ideal, really. So we would need another wide man. And you guys have been very outspoken about which wide man you'd like me to get as well. I do think it's very much aided by a particularly impressive individual performance at the weekend for his club. But that means he's relevant and he's of the moment right now, and you guys clearly picked up on that, so that's what we'll be doing. That man is a certain right winger for Manchester City, Ryan Cherki. Last season, he played 2 games in the Premier League. In the FA Cup, none. In the Champions League, none. And in the Carabao Cup, none. So they're not using him at all. And he will get a lot more football than that playing for me. So Ryan Cherki is going to be the first port of call here to come in for us out in a wide area as initially part of the squad with Amora and Sarr. And of course the youngster Jake Tucker. And then we'll be looking to make the centre-back option as well. Sorry, left-back option as well. That left-back option being... the option was basically either Serginho Dest or a couple of options from elsewhere, being Cardona at Brentford, Cucurella, who's second choice at Juventus, and Nathaniel Brown. Nathaniel Brown is quite weak, to say the least, and there wasn't a single comment that was asking for Nathaniel Brown. The general consensus was to go for the more realistic signing of Sergi Cardona, which I agree. That would have been the one that I probably would have done anyway. Cucurella is obviously a backup if we need and can't agree a deal for Cardona, but I don't think we're going to struggle to agree a deal for Cardona, quite frankly, and it's absolutely the most realistic option of the two. What's the unrealistic thing is the fact that they signed an 85 rated Cucurella and an 86 rated Kirkes at Juventus when they really don't need two left backs of that real quality. So let's start with the cheaper option of Cardona. Their asking price is 34.9. It's valued at 23.5, but they reckon we could get it done for about 28-ish, and certainly I would agree. I don't think we're going to need to pay too much to get Cardona out of Brentford. Obviously, we have to factor in that Cherki's probably going to be quite pricey, even though he's not playing for Real. For Real? I'm thinking of Ryan as his first name. Even though he's not playing for Manchester City, they still obviously want to protect a valuable asset and will want to make sure they get a decent return on investment. So we'll probably have to pay quite a bit for him. But we've got the money to spend, don't we? So we are hopefully going to be able to spend it. And fingers crossed Cardona will accept. No, I think that's mainly because of the lower rating to Danny Slater. But important, not crucial. We'll ensure that we're able to keep him happy, certainly. He's on 80 grand a week at the minute at Brentford. To be honest, I'll offer him about what he's already on, and I think he should be happy with that, and he is. And it's nice to see that he's got an in-game star head as well. So there is a new left-back signing for the club, joining from Brentford to move within the Premier League. And now, hopefully, we'll be able to get someone else to join from within the Premier League, to come from Manchester City to join us here at the now champions. City won the league in year 1. They looked odds on to win the league in year 2 until they absolutely shat the bed, and we changed the bed for them and got it ourselves. 63.5 valuation. I reckon I can get it for about valuation. He's got trickster, playstyle plus, first touch, technical, inventive, incisive pass, low driven shot and chip shot. Technically he's very impressive, especially with the dribbling aspect. Obviously, short passing wise, we can improve upon. Finishing wise, we can improve upon. And then the agility and balance. It's just going to be really fun to play with. And occasionally, you just want someone that's really fun to play with. That's why we made a couple of the signings that we did at Valencia in the other save, which is now obviously passed. There will have been a Football Manager episode uploaded earlier on today as well. So if you might have missed that in your sub box, do check your sub box for that, or the channel page itself, and you can stay up to date with the Football Manager save at Chelsea as things are progressing right now. 67. Really? You're gonna quibble over £400,000 in a £67 million transfer? Fair enough, Pep. I'll meet your clauses. Not a problem. Fine. He's on 140 grand a week at Manchester City, but I would like to think, although we have offered some big wages to other players, haven't we? We've got Joboslai. He only wants important, not crucial. That will help bring his wage down. 5-year contract as well. We offered Ismail Assar a big wage rise. We offered Dominic Joboslai a significantly sizable contract as well. And he's not going to actually tell me what he wants in his salary, but I'll offer him 125 grand a week. And hopefully he'll say yes to it. Which he has. Superb. Ryan Cherky and Cardona are in. And we have ourselves 2 top signings for the squad. One slightly more impressive than the other, obviously, and slightly more eye-catching, both in its calibre and, of course, the way that he plays his football. But certainly, both will be of great value this year as we aim to try and challenge for the Champions League. The board want all 3, Prem, FA Cup and Champions League. So, as much as my job is probably going to be at risk at Chelsea in the FM save, my job is probably going to be at risk here at Crystal Palace as well this season. So I'm going to have to make sure we perform. So let's try and perform as we start the season against Tottenham Hotspur at home. Of course, that's a youngster going out on loan. We've won the Community Shield yesterday against Cardiff. Wasn't that difficult. This is going to be a young man going out on loan. That's Aaron James going to Strasbourg in France. Toodaloo. Au revoir, monsieur. Let's go play Spuds, shall we? Of course, do please make sure you drop the video a like. Really helps push the content to new viewers. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more content here on the ChesnoidGaming channel, regardless of which football-orientated game that is. And I'm just going to reject this offer, and then we'll go and play Spurs. £110.9 million bid for Captain Fantastic Adam Wharton. No. I don't think I'd sell anyone to anyone in the Premier League at this moment in time. I mean, I might do if it was someone that wasn't Adam Wharton, potentially, but Adam's going nowhere unless it's Real Madrid or Barcelona. Even Bayern we'd question whether to not sell to because they aren't the powerhouse in save that they are in real life at the moment. Borussia Dortmund won the Bundesliga last year. Regardless, Wharton is going to continue on for now, and Spurs are going to come and join us. And I might give Cherky a start because why the hell not? We've sorted squad numbers, so Malagusto's now number 2 and Danny Slater's number 3. They are playing a 4-3-3 attack here at Spurs. Ismail Assar's now got his number 7 back as well, by the way. Vicario, Wesley, Simakan, Van der Ven, Mittelstadt, Saar, Kulusevski with Xavi Simons sat behind Matthijs Tel, Kudus and Leao. And, oh yes, Jakob Niestrup is in charge there now. Thought there'd been a change in manager. I'd forgotten about Mr. Niestrup. So, no other numbers have changed, I don't think. Cherky's 10 and taken that from Amora. Joboslai is 11. As Saar now has his number 7 back, because for some reason when signing Joboslai it took the number 7 off Ismail Assar, which I think was a bit harsh. But we know how good Dominic Joboslai was in the game against Cardiff. Was only Cardiff, but still. And John Duran now wears the number 9 rather than the number 14 as he did last year. Uche's still wearing whatever the hell number he wore for the first 2 seasons. I can't remember off the top of my head. This is going to be a really difficult first game of the season, though, I would imagine, here against Tottenham. It might set the tone for the rest of the season to come. Lovely ball through the gap. Perfectly weighted for Cherky, who isn't as fast as Wesley, rather evidently. I didn't know Wesley was quite that quick. It's not a great ball, though. Soboslai's up for it, and he's put the man off enough to have the ball come back to us. And then his touch is a bit shit. Gusto against Leao, and that was one-sided as ever. We've won that back, though, well in Vivian. We turned down a bid from Bayern Munich for Daniel Vivian in the last episode. And actually, to be fair, I don't think I recall seeing any blowback from that, so thank you for agreeing with me on that front. Or did they catch me there? Oh, desperate for a free kick was Dominic Szoboszlai, I tell you, just to see what they're like. We win this with Diamande. We should win this with Diamande, and we have. Wharton holds off Xavi Simons. Try and turn and get that back to Wharton, although Apsar was closing. Here's Dominic Szoboszlai now. Getting forward in that box-to-box role. Looking to whip it, try and find a teammate. Can't find the first one he looks for. And it won't fall for me elsewhere otherwise. An iffy... Oh, that's a heavy touch. An iffy touch is what we'll say there then. Again, looking for Czechny through the gap. That's not a very good ball from me, to be fair. An iffy opening 25 minutes here or so in the game so far. Not the lightning start to the season we were after, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. As we well know, Manchester City sprinted into a big lead in the Premier League last season, and then at the end of the marathon, they finished second. So, yay us. Turkey looking for Sarr. An assist for Turkey on debut, and a goal for Ismail Sarr. That's how confident I was of that goal going in before I'd even taken the shot. Ismail is off the mark and running again. That's into Kulusevski. Mittelstadt. Layout. Simons to Matthijs Tel. I do like using Rafael Leao in the opening stages of this game, and then I was so concerned about Rafael Leao there that I actually opened up my own defensive line, but we've managed to slow them up and force them backwards again. It hasn't been lightning at the beginning of this episode and at the beginning of this season, but we have got ourselves that 1-0 lead, and we look to hold on to it here as Leao couldn't quite sort his feet out in time before disappearing off the pitch. And if we can find a second before Spurs are able to find one, I think we might steal all 3 points. Well, not steal all 3 points, but certainly deserve all 3 points by the end of this fixture. A win to start the season would be great, and with the fixture list the way that it is at the minute, if we win this one, you'd say we get 3 wins from 3 from the opening few games of the season, wouldn't you? Clinton Matter, that's a name I haven't heard for a while, moving to Midland apparently. They do tell you about some rather left field signings, don't they, in career mode sometimes. Why is that relevant to this game or these two teams? I'm not entirely too sure. Szoboszlai to Wharton. Like, it's cool that Clinton Matter's got a good move for himself, but is that really relevant to me, Tottenham or Crystal Palace right now? Oh, Vicario, the recovery there. To get back to that before Sarr had a very simple second goal was particularly impressive. Vicario is the sort of goalkeeper that pulls off disgustingly outrageous saves and then makes silly mistakes, isn't he? Be that one goalkeeper that will make the sort of save where you're like, how on earth has he done that? And then also makes such a big mistake that you're like, how on earth has he done that? 25 minutes to go here at Selhurst Park against Spurs. Kulusevski's in the box now. He scored against us last time we played Tottenham, I seem to recall. Xavi Simons trying to do something similar here, but he's failed, and they've left Turkey in so much room over here. Now, I'm not a 5-star skiller, nor do I really know what I'm doing with any sort of skills, but John Duran's left foot, he's normally reliable, but he's missed the target this time. Van de Ven. Brennan Johnson. Oh, I can't get to him. They've made a change here, Spurs, and it might be one that will bring them back into the game. It's a great touch by Leao. He gets a little bit lucky to break free there. But Matthijs Tel's onside, and they've worked that brilliantly, Tottenham. They do have themselves an equaliser here in the 80th minute. Matthijs Tel with his first goal of the season, which is rather obvious because it's the first game of the season. The manager's saying, all right, calm down, everyone. There's still 10 minutes to go. We could equally win this as much as lose it. With that ball here into Kulusevski in the first time pass around the corner. It's undefendable, unfortunately. They got a little bit lucky with a rebound at the beginning of the end of that move, if you know what I mean. But unfortunately, despite it not being right at the moment of them scoring the goal, they were still able to work the chance as a result. Shepherd has come off the bench here for me. Szoboszlai just overrun that annoyingly. That's one of the things in the gameplay we're hoping to iron out with the gameplay testing if possible for the RTG. Although I think it's probably more a bit of a core issue than it is slider related. So we might not be able to do that, but we hope so. Lovely spin by Xavi Simons there. And well in Diamande. Szoboszlai, Timber, Turn, Shepherd. Uche's off the bench here. Can we find him? Or maybe even Ismail Assar at the back post here for a winning goal today as Vicario tips the ball over the top. Not quite. Dominic will take the corner. I wish they'd update his hair because he's not had that haircut for a while now. It's not quite going to fall for me there. Shepherd will cut this back hit and Ryan Cherky just can't sort his feet out in time to find a teammate, unfortunately. And now on the counter-attack, we might be in a little bit of trouble here. Rafael Leao has got Matthijs Tel with him. I'm just going to stick with Vivian for the moment, try and slow them up. And we've done that maybe enough. I think enough now. They've gone backwards there, ref, to earn ourselves a point on opening day. Spurs deserved it. It was a very good, well-worked goal. And they will take a point back across London from the south to the north. Annoyingly, we now move from the south to the north to Everton away. Right, Everton away is one we're actually going to sim here. Absolutely, that first team should be strong enough to get the victory away from home at, I was going to say Goodison Park, because it's not Goodison Park anymore, is it? Amora with a goal, which is important for him. Dominic Szoboszlai with a brace as well. Welcome to the club, Dom. GG's. Love that. He's now the club's top goal scorer this season. And Mora getting a goal is important for him in the fight for first team football ahead of Ryan Cherky. Cherky actually came on off the bench there for Sarr. Lacroix is growing. He will be 83 soon, which is good news. In fact, he'll be 83 very soon because I'm going to do that and it'll be up in 4 weeks. The next one was Ismail Assar, who's improving as a wide playmaker. Trying to get, he's up to 84 rated now, which is great. Can we get him up any quicker than 21 weeks anywhere else? Just want to get players to grow as quickly as possible. A centre mid playmaker apparently will get him to 85 in 19 weeks. Let's bloody do it then. Right, the derby against Brighton to come next. We're currently 4th in the table. That might change by the time it stops simming and other games are played. No. Fiorentina have bid. Matches rescheduled. Oh, Champions League phase. That has me intrigued. Malagusto, 18 million plus Kyriani Saba. No. I like I say, I might be open to selling Malagusto, but I've only got 32 million left in my budget, which is what I was just coming across here to check, actually. So we'd need probably a sizable fee for Gusto to be able to afford an adequate replacement. So who do we have in the Champions League then? Monaco, winnable. Napoli, difficult. Inter, yikes. Galatasaray, winnable. Bodeglimt, absolutely winnable. Real Madrid away, good, thanks. Rangers and I want to say Sparta Praha, Slavia Bratislava. Is it Slavia Praha? I think it's Slavia Praha, isn't it? Oh, good. I went to view fixture and the game crashed. Fantastic. That's a new one. Right. No, I'm not having that. I know, yes, Real Madrid, but I was already past this point. So I'm not having that. I'm not having that at all. Real Madrid hadn't bid for Dean Henderson on that day before the game crashed on me. So, no, you can't have him. That's nonsense. I'm not going to sell my player from a bid that came in the past. Duh. The cheek of it. The absolute cheek of it. Match is rescheduled. Right. Have we got a different Champions League draw now? That's the question. Napoli. I mean, yes, but so far clubs that we previously had, although the cup is now Man United, not Brentford domestically. Bodeglimt, Monaco, Gala. So it's the same teams, just in a different order. Oh no, FC Copenhagen and Marseille is different. There's no there's Galatasaray. Who? Oh, Slavia Praha and Rangers. So rather than Slavia Praha and Rangers, it's FC Copenhagen and Marseille. All right. I mean, they're both... I mean, actually, that's probably more difficult, isn't it? Yeah. I think I've been a bit unlucky there. Regardless, time to go and play the derby against Brighton. And then we'll see if Real Madrid bid for anyone in the present rather than in the past on a day that I'd already gotten through. Thank you very much. Brighton with a 4-2-3-1. They're actually not as strong as they are at the beginning of a save, I don't feel, really. Belieber and Mats FIFA are obviously grown quite well. Belieber specifically has grown very well. But Evan Ferguson leads the line for them at 79 rated. Buonanotte, Ruter. I mean, They've not got amazing options, Brighton. Quite frankly, this is a very winnable game for us, more so than others have been against Brighton, even if I was lining up with the same 11 as I am here in terms of their quality. So Amora starts for me now after starting in the game against Everton, or the simmer against Everton, and getting a goal. John Duran is yet to score. Some might argue I maybe should have given Uche a go here, but we'll give John Duran the first few games of the season, considering he was the higher scorer of the season last year compared to Uche, even though Ismaila Sarr obviously scored more goals than anybody else. And after one game played, he'd scored more goals than anybody else. But then Dominic Szoboszlai went and scored a brace in the game against Everton. So, not a problem deciding who to start here, really, in the main. Duran certainly could have started his tally there with a good header. Sarr could have added to his, but neither did. Leeds take the lead against Tottenham. That'll be a result and a half at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That would have been a goal and a half from Evan Ferguson had it flown into the back of the net. Luckily for me, it didn't. Get that out to Amora. I was trying to commit Costina there. And to be fair, Amora has still gotten round him. Player to watch apparently is Dominic Szoboszlai. Presumably that's on the back of his 2-goal haul in the last game. Wharton will deliver another one. Again, looking to the back post, and it's actually Dominic Szoboszlai that would have been underneath it, but keeper's come for this one and done well. Crossing's not been too fruitful for us in this save. Hoping that maybe with some sliders and the gameplay patch that, as I record this, hasn't come this week. By the time you see this, it might have. I'm not sure. It's due this week-ish. I'm hoping that Crossing might be more viable than it currently is. It's obviously already in a significantly better spot than it was in FC25, where it just wasn't viable at all. But it would be nice to score a few more crossed goals or headed goals from crosses. Duran needs to take this in his stride, and to be fair to him, he's done very well. Sold the defender, and here's Zamora. And I should have just put my foot through it. Tried to place it in the top corner to ensure the keeper didn't get there. Didn't place it high enough, and the keeper got there. And then Diamande's missed with a header. Bugger. Christina. It's not the first time Adam Wharton has picked that pocket. Looking for Duran. That's a great ball into the channel. Edge of the box. Too many men. Victor for Arsenal. Presumably that means Gyökeres. Still, they've not fixed that. Something we've been asking for a while, but that's not the career mode team. That's the presentation team with the Prem graphics. I don't know if it does that with other official graphics. You guys will have to let me know, those of you that play games in the Bundesliga and in Liga, etc. Is that first name, not last name of the goal scorer thing an issue in those graphics, or is it just the Premier League? That might be something that would be good to know, so we can pass that on to the career mode team, to pass on to the presentation team, to maybe get it fixed in other leagues as well. It was certainly an issue in FC25. I can't remember if it was in 24 as well, to be honest, but regardless, it's annoying. Szoboszlai, that heavy touch is annoying too, because I was about to let fly with that from there. 0-0 here at the minute against Brighton. Again, a frustrating opening to the game, actually. Similar to the Tottenham one, but obviously we eventually found the breakthrough. So we will keep plugging away and pray that it comes. In fact, we'll be confident that it'll come, because I have faith in this team. They did just win the whole title. Wharton. Amora. Wharton. Amora. Maybe not. Yes, Amora. Oh, brilliant. Even more so. Defender recovers. I was thinking to myself, right, don't finesse it this time, Ches. Put your foot through it. I've got to get myself in the position to actually shoot first, don't I? Need a better second half. Right, an early, quick start and goal to the second half would be wonderful, please, gentlemen, if you don't mind. Amin Adli has equalised for Bournemouth against Manchester United. There are some intriguing scorelines going on around the league today, but there's not really much intriguing about Palace 0, Brighton 0 at the moment. And I said I wanted a goal for us. It might be a goal for them. Questions asked of Dean Henderson there. Came out for it, and as far as I could make out, slid past the man before he'd had the shot. I need to see it back. It's Ruter's third goal in 3 games in the Premier League this season. But I think the keeper has come out, slid on his knees past the ball. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I want to have a look at that back. I think he's just dived He's gone in nowhere near the ball. He's dived where the ball is. He's tried to dive where the ball is going to be rather than where the ball is. I think it also maybe clips through his leg a little bit. No, it's just gone underneath it. But if the ball was still going, it would be where his feet are. But Ruter has shot already. So Dean Henderson has come out and just not 1-0 Brighton. Maybe I should have sold him to Real Madrid in the past. Can I do it in the future still? They're telling me about Clinton Madger again. But you've already told me about that transfer, lads. We told you before, we don't care about Clinton Madger. Fuck off. Tottenham have equalised against Leeds, and that popping up distracted me enough to lose my focus and lose the ball. Dino does much better for that one. It's only half an hour to go here, and, well, we are still losing against Brighton, which is just not good enough for anybody associated with Crystal Palace. And, well, as manager, quite heavily associated with Crystal Palace, aren't I? Duran, Szoboszlai. They're not leading anymore. Dominic Szoboszlai has 3 goals in 3 games himself now, Mr. Ruter. Suck on that, pal. Duran. I need to find the turn or the pass or something to a teammate. Win this. Well up. Quinton. In. Saar. Szoboszlai. Take 2! Jan-Paul van Ecke does very well. Changes. I think for both sides actually there. You can hear the home fans roar us on. Szoboszlai looking for an assist to go with his goal. Not going to get it. Get that to Uche though. Uche into Cherki. He is left-footed, but he does have a 5-star weak foot. Ryan Cherki. Bloody Diamande. He's not the man I want there, is it? Well, Ian Ryan. Around the corner to Amora. Oh, back post. Uche's there. Oh, he's awful. As a squared ball across the goal. Come on, Amora. Deary me. Maybe I should have bought on Cherki out wide for you instead, mate. I think we might be getting back to about 1-1 draws in these played games here. Cherki looking for Uche. Found. Oh, yeah. It's going to be back to about 1-1 draws. All we've needed is that final pass on a couple of occasions here, and we absolutely could have won the game late on. But we're not going to. Again, as the side that came from behind this time, we deserved the point just as much as Tottenham deserved the point in the other game. Like I said, if we could have won the first, then we certainly would have expected 9 from 9. But in the end, 5 is probably fair. Like we say, Tottenham deserved the point. We deserved the point against. No, we deserved the point against. Oh, I'll tell you what. After John Duran has had an iffy start to the season, I am tempted. Live chat's going to get the call. I know he's only been here a year, but chat, do we sell John Duran and replace him in this window, or do we not? We will run a poll here for live chat on deadline day. The general consensus on live chat by 67% to 33%. 2/3 of the people want me to reject this bid and keep John Duran and kind of make the same decision with him as we are Uche, which is give them until January and then take it from there with regards to the striking situation. So that is what we shall do. Fran Garcia has moved to Bournemouth. Moreira has moved to West Ham, and Moreira has moved to Real Sociedad from Leverkusen. So Moreira back to Spain. Georgi Petrovic has now moved to Ajax from Dortmund, I was going to say there, from Bournemouth. Leone's left Liverpool now to go to Stuttgart. That's an intriguing one. Mike Magnon has left Arsenal. I think they still got David Raya. I think they've still got David Raya, although I might be mistaken there. They might have sold him. I know at one point they did have them both. So let's have a quick look here and see where David Raya is, because Arsenal might have left themselves a little bit short here. Yeah, David Raya's at Juventus. I don't know who Arsenal have in goal, you know. I'd be concerned that Arsenal have just sold their #1 goalkeeper and don't have anyone else that's any good to back him up. Oh no, never mind then. They've got 9-1 rated pre-gen. That's what we didn't do at the beginning of Season 3. Balls. That's on me. Because we would have mudded Bruno Morel and they would have kept Magnon. But they've got a Magnon pre-gen who's even better. Shit. Me and live chat all forgot together to actually check for pre-gens. Okay. Well, it's the last season of this save, so we won't bother ourselves too much with that at this stage then. Although that is annoying, and we will use this as a learning moment. We absolutely must, at the very beginning of each new save, mud the pre-gens. We did it for Season 2, forgot for Season 3, and it's... Well, to be fair, it's not done me any harm. And although they do now have a much better goalkeeper, Arsenal, but it has led to a less than agreeable transfer decision for the club. So, wait and see what happens there. Juventus have actually sold Kirkes now to Manchester City. So, now Cucurella is their starting left-back. So, Kirkes back in the Premier League. Oh, I'm really annoyed about that bloody pre-gen, but it is what it is. Let's see what we can do for the rest of the window. So, we'll see what happens in the rest of the window. Jonathan Tah moves from Bayern Munich to Barcelona. Mark Gay, he was starting for Barcelona because they sold Ronald Araujo, but I don't know whether he'll be starting for them if Jonathan Tah has arrived. Although at 31, Tah might not be as good as he previously was. Not much going on at the top end in this transfer window, to be completely honest. Obviously, if we'd have negotiated that deal for John Duran, that would have been the highest deal of the window. Ismail Assar's had a bid of £54.9 million from Leipzig, which we're obviously going to turn down. And that will be transfer deadline day at the end. Right, I'm going to go and sort the spreadsheet out for the Patreon players because obviously we want to make sure that everybody is up to date there. And now, of course, 1 minute after transfer deadline day, we then get bids for other players. I wish that wasn't a thing, but that's been a thing for about a decade. So your biggest deals in the window and in this save this season so far. Alejandro Balde, nothing over 100 million actually. Alejandro Balde, 95.9 to Leverkusen, as you can see. Left backs being the biggest of the two, and 3 of the top 4 actually, with Carreras joining Milos Kerkez on deadline day. Nicolo Barella's gone to Leipzig from Inter, so we won't have to play against him for Inter Milan today, or this season obviously. We were actually the 5th biggest deal of the window all told. With Ryan Cherky moving to Crystal Palace. Miguel Gutierrez has moved to Real Madrid. Jurien Timber has moved to Manchester City, so it'll be brother versus brother there. Moussa Diaby has gone to Dortmund. Ait Nouri has left Manchester City to go to Juventus. I don't know whether that was pre or post. Kirkes moving. You'll be able to check the dates in the footage. Cody Gakpo to Dortmund is an intriguing one, although obviously Dortmund did win the league last year in Germany, so it's not unheard of. Jonathan Tah to Bayern, as we saw. Tino Livramento moves to Tottenham, and Udogi moves to Newcastle in his place, although opposite sides of the defence, of course. Solakis, we played against for Brighton in goal today, and he made a couple of very good saves. Severa Reed moves to Inter here. Anatoly Trubin to Atalanta. Guillermo Restes joins Roma, and Waneri's gone to Liverpool. Malero we saw. Pedro Porro to AC Milan. Amin Gouiri to the Premier League to Liverpool. Maxime de Kuiper's moved again. El Halali to Strasbourg, so Chelsea by default. Or by proxy. Igor Pajao's moved to Frankfurt from Marseille. Wesley we've played against. Calafiori's moved to Bilbao. Raya, oh wow, they sold Raya and Magnon in the same window. I mean, you would if you had a 91 rated 21-year-old, wouldn't you? Georgi Petrovic has gone to Ajax. Andre Lunin has left Real Madrid to go to Wolfsburg. James Trafford has left Manchester City to go back to, or go to Leeds. So I was just going to go back to a northern club, but thinking Burnley, but it's not like Manchester City aren't northern, is it? Moreira we saw. Balogun has moved to Wolfsburg from Sevilla. Buca we saw at Brighton as well. 81 rated for him compared to the 82, I think, for the Greek goalkeeper. Dan Ndoye's moved to Betis. Dan Ndoye, I'm very impressed with in real life. I don't know how good he is in FC, but what good, I believe. Oh, well, Teo Hernandez has gone back to AC Milan. All right, fair enough. Baron Echea to Leeds. Leo Sauer to Inter. David Raum to Torino. Strand Larsen's left Wolves. Daniel Svensson has left Dortmund. Marquinhos goes to Bayern. They are the bigger ones. Luis Enrique leaving Inter is a surprising one, although, to be fair, only 82 rated. It's not maybe as surprising as potentially we might well have thought. With regards to the Patreon players as well, a number of you have moved. So Jack Evans has swapped Accrington Stanley for Newcastle. Jordan Forbes has swapped Burton Albion for Lyon. We've seen James Blacker be signed from the free agent pool to go to Bologna. We've seen a move to Lazio from Sunderland for Aaron, I think that was. No, for Lewis, sorry. We've seen Brighton actually release AD. A couple of players have been released from their clubs. Junho's been signed by FC Alverca, I'm going to say, because they're Portuguese. Man United to Aston Villa for Julio. Gillingham to Bayern Munich for Shane. And like we say, AD released by Brighton. And unfortunately for Millie as well, St. Pauli have released him. And he's now a free agent as well. With regards to your ratings, you can see them in the stream here. Of course, in the video here. Of course, if you want to come and see your stats in more detail, then do come and join me on stream, as we say every time. If you'd like to have your own player in the game, then of course, feel free to join that set tier on the Patreon. But if you'd like to support the channel at any level, there are a number of tiers at the on the Patreon, starting as low as £2 a month. If you'd like to contribute and help the channel out financially, then that would be very generous of you. There are £2, £5, £10, £15 to have your player in the game, £18 tiers available as well. But if you'd like to just buy me a cup of coffee, so to speak, and chuck a couple of quid a month at me, then that would be very generous of you. But of course, by all means, there's absolutely no need whatsoever to do so, or no pressure to do so. It's just something I'm going to be pushing a little bit more as the mortgage has gone up. So just be aware of that moving forward. Regardless, that's going to be all for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. You leave us 6th in the Premier League. So not a massively strong start to the season, but only Arsenal have won 3 from 3. And only Liverpool, Man United and Leeds and Newcastle have won 2 from 3. And we're top of those that have won 1 from 3. So actually, despite only having 5 points from our first 3 games, we're still 6th. So it's actually been quite good for us, considering it's been pretty average for us. Regardless, that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on more. Do check the Football Manager content as well, and I will see you in the next one tomorrow.